Dukect, and welcome you to the Dukect Lounge. Thank you so much for joining me here at Dukect. Now, we have some interesting things for you to say. And honestly, trust me, this time, this podcast won't last over a fortnight, okay? So, let's get into the crazy stuff here. And, oh boy, there's been a lot of stuff that's happening. Because, honestly, first off, the big news, I'm going to start with this. TNA, somehow, they're like a cockroach. You think they're dead, but they continue to come back to life. It's shocking, you know? It's like, what the heck? How do they keep coming back? It's like, you know, this is what's going on. How in the world is this happening to them? It's crazy. It's crazy. It's insane. It's this. But, you know, somehow, some way, TNA Impact Wrestling will stay on Spike TV through the end of to the end of 2014. And negotiations are still ongoing. I don't know what the whole thing with that is. And there is a certain Cage Seats blog, over at SB Nation. I'll get to that, but I will get to that in a couple of minutes, if you will. Oh man. Let's see, if you will. Okay, now, my thoughts. I thought this was thing. I thought this thing, TNA, if they won't get on Spike TV, I'm surprised they haven't been on. I mean, I honestly would not watch the channel afterwards if, because honestly, there's nothing on that channel I would watch. I mean, I don't like watching COD reruns and everything. I don't like watching Bar Rescue, Hardcore Pawn, or anything else. And quite honestly, only time I tuned in to Spike TV or TNN was to watch the pro wrestling. It was ECW for how long that was on, to WWE when that was on, then TNA. I mean, I did not watch anything else. I remember back in the day. Don't you remember, people? Let's go back, way back, boys and girls. Back to the days of 2005. 2005. Let's go back to those days. Turn the way back machine. You know, I first started going online and watching, going on the internet. It's the first time I really got on the internet forums. I still had a landscaping job, a job that treated me well. It was a nice job. And I started watching TNA. And I actually, believe it or not, this show, I could not believe this. The first thing I watched TNA before. I mean, it was in these little weird type of shorts or something with Comcast on-demand type thing. I watched it, and I was like, wow, you know, yeah, I was really impressed. In fact, once going back to that further, I was the first time I watched, probably the thing I always kept my eye on this TNA was the cage match between the tag team title cage match with American Safari and Triple X. And honestly, and it was a cage match which surprisingly didn't have the stupid notion. I mean, I always didn't like the over the top thing, which oh my goodness, I just, oh good Lord, please, if I ever see that again, it'll be too soon. And TNA Impact this week did it. I'll get to that in a minute, but I hate that. You know why I hate it? It just feels like it screams to me like a really coward's way out to me. It's really a coward's way out. Like, I'm going to, instead of pinning you, submitting, or knocking you out, instead of that, which will be like a cage, is making sure that no one interferes, and you have to get knockout or tap out or submission, or what have knockout, tap out, pin cover, which to me is a more defining victory, is that I'm going to be the biggest coward and leave. I'm sorry. I know that just feeds me. Okay. Oh my gosh. What can I do? Am I going to really look badass? How do I really look badass against myself? How am I going to look so like a badass moment? What's the best badass moment? I'm going to go climb a cage and run out of it. And this is your superhero babyface. You climb up the cage, or in some idiotic cases, use the door. Yes, the door, ladies and gentlemen. The door is going to use to open the door and just walk out. Just walk out. I am beyond perplexed. I'm beyond perplexed. I don't get this. I don't get why this is so much an exciting thing. I watch them live and I don't like it. I don't like cage matches. That's just me. If you have a cage, have them. I mean, that's why I like a bit of the UFC a bit more. Is when they have their matches. They have their matches and they finish it in the cage. They'll run out like, "Ooh, we're gonna run out. I'm gonna win by just running away." You know, it doesn't scream, tough to me that somehow your hero babyface is standing tall by leaving. No, that's the point. But back to this point. That's my point. After that mini rant. Oh yeah, this point. The cage match being America's Most Wanted versus Triple X. I loved it. It was violent. It was great. I was like, holy crap! I never heard this company before. And again, it loved because I was like one of the few times I watched a match that didn't have the stupid, moronic escape the damn cage. I hate and it's just it was great. And I always kept my eyes on, but then I found that they did shows online, which was I was like, yeah, this is a little bit sad, but doing this whole Raven dominant stuff, I don't know if I still have the TNA Hardcore Blood Edition I got from FYE way back in that. I think I have it somewhere. I gotta clean that up. Wait, I think I still have. No, that's just my Electric DVD. I don't know why I have that. I'm gonna do a review of that at some point. But anyway, I wonder if I did Electra, if I actually would have been a lot better. If I did that for my whatever the hell review contest, maybe that would have been up there better instead of me talking about pro wrestling. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. Yeah, I watched that, and I was starting to watch Spike TV. Back to Spike TV. I didn't watch anything other things on Spike TV. I tried. I made the attempt. I really did. I really tried, but in the end, I just didn't care. I just thought, most of it's reality show garbage, and if you know me, I hate reality TV shows for the most part. I mean, it makes me just want to punch a TV screen. And even worse is that it keeps coming out. It stifles more creativity. I don't know. It just really pissed me off. Reality TV shows just never thought this. I just don't really care for it. But honestly, I watched TNA on Spike TV on Saturday nights. I'm like, wow, watching it. Really fun stuff. Something to do on Saturday nights. It was good. It was fun, and kept watching, and then it went Thursday. Yes, prime time, 9 o'clock. Then we got the screw job or something, and it was 11 p.m. I'm like, what the hell? 11. Like 3 minutes before the premiere, they got 11 o'clock. I was like, what did they put on? Some stupid thing with some hillbillies, and I'm like, hillbillies and crap. I'm like, no, man. I'm like, seriously. I just like, you know what? I tried watching it. I watched it was like some hillbilly show. I was like, I tried watching before this. I was like, my God, my life is. It really. I saw like, this is what people want to watch now. I didn't even stay to watch Impact. It was like I can't. I just turned off the television, waited till Impact came on, and I watched it. I was like, never again. I just started watching Spike TV for that, and and then they got their 2 hours, and then they finally got their hour specials, and then 2 hour specials, Then they build up for 2 hours. And for the most part, they got their main prime time at 9 o'clock. Yes, at 9 p.m. And honestly, there was a period of time, and even this is when the new ECW was just starting out, and it stumbled on the stumbling blocks. But I'm not kidding you. I think it was like 2006 or 7 or something. That Impact was still an hour long, and yet had more matches and had more gravitas than the WWE Raw. I was like, and this is where I was back at 2 hours, not the 3-hour baton death march that it is right now. But again, I'm going ahead of myself, and I should be talking about this later on in the show. I really should know about pacing. I'm just rambling at this point. Anyway, Spike TV. I watched it through, and heck, when it got 2 hours of Thursdays, I was happy. I was like, yeah, it was good. And then the moronic decision of them doing the Monday Night Wars again, and I just facepalmed. It was horrible. And honestly, I really did not drive competition. It was terrible. Both I realized that I watched both. I was like Jim Cornette. I felt, honestly, oh my gosh, this is what wrestling is. This is what it is? Just all this other, there's some diamonds in the rough. But for the most part, this shows were mediocre at best. Impact barely got the nudge. I think Impact was a bit better, but more often than not, I was like, ugh. Oh God, that was just a horrible experiment. And I know, I think TNA got humbled right quick, and they were right back on Thursdays, or tail between their legs. And they looked at wounds, and they started going out of the Impact Zone, which desperately was needed. And they went, well, no, I was liking it. Well, yeah, it was good, but then it started costing them money. And then it just, no, they had to go back to the Impact Zone. And, Universal Studios kicked them out because they were hosting another thing. Another thing got their spot because they dealt with the TNA was so big and bad. But then, they somehow got a new spot and all this other stuff. Then they got places they could tape at. They tape 4 or 5 weeks in advance, and that's what it is right now. And then you have Spike TV not going to re-sign their deal. At first, I was like, God damn it, TNA, and you got a lot of people, and I know some cool guys, that were just like, yes, TNA's dead, and you get all of these guys. I'm like, TNA has done a lot of stupid things, a hell of a lot of stupid things, but I don't want them to die. I mean, sure, they're coming. I just want some better management. That's what I want. I want better management. And speaking of that, it looks like Spike TV might supposedly supposedly, ladies and gentlemen, Spike TV wanted to buy a majority share in TNA. And this is what the story has gone. This was a crazy rumor. And I just was looking this stuff up. It happened yesterday, ladies and gentlemen. It was a crazy rumor that supposedly Richard Gray from WrestlingNewsWorld.com says Spike TV has made overtures about buying 15% of Impact Wrestling. This is on Twitter, and this is on this guy's website and everything. I'll put the link in the description, as always, as I will. Link in the description. You can look at all this other stuff and say yes, this is supposedly happening. Supposedly this is an overture buying 51%. I thought it was 10%. Now it's 51%. And then again, if Spike TV does that, it leaves Carter's with 20 or something like that. But supposedly, but then you have this thing come out. But then again, this rumor but then the article continues. It says that this rumor has to be taken with a heavy pinch of salt. Sure, some of the pieces fit, as Viacom, MMA Promotion, Bellator They bought that 3 years ago, and TNA was almost sold to Toby Keith last year, which was true. I honestly thought it was going to be Billy Kroger or something, and he has to wrestle one thing in Chicago. I thought that was going to be the case, and I was happy. Again, I don't hate TNA. I just hate how it's managed, and I really hope someone who's a true owner, a real owner, come in, sweep the incompetence out, get some real people who know anything, and I think this company will be on the right track, and I think most people would agree. Yeah, I think most people would agree. So, hey, when TNA is on track, and it can, with great matches, with memorable moments that they can do something really special. I'm not talking about taking over the WWE, but carve a nice niche and be like the number 2 or maybe number 3. I don't know, but something that people like myself are more wrestling, which is a good thing. But yeah, the deal fell through at the last minute when Keith balked at the position that Dixie Carter had to remain with the company with some degree of power and television exposure, which I just, same thing too. I was like, why, Dixie, please. She is the main reason. If Dixie Carter just said, okay, I'm done, just have her go away, and Toby Keith buys it, everything would have been awesome. But why? I don't know. But we don't know. Anyway, as the article continues, it says this might be some, but it's just, but it only really makes sense if this is some Machiavellian plot by Spike TV to kill TNA's negotiating leverage with other stations so they can attempt to buy promotion for a cut down price in a fire sale. Moreover, this story flies in the face of reporting from the more reputable pro wrestling news sites on the web. Indeed, Dave Meltzer on this week's Wrestling Observer, I can't speak, Wrestling Observer newsletter, claimed that there were people at Spike who months ago, in conversation with non-wrestling people, I know indicated they probably weren't renewing Impact on his radio show earlier today. He added that, the link to this stuff will be on the blog, and I will put the link on, what I do, I'll put the link in the description of the whole blog and everything else. He says this, added that, and I quote, so Dave Meltzer says, the alternative scenario of Spike starting up their own promotion and keeping TNA on the air until they can start up their own promotion. I don't hear any rumblings of that one at all. And there's a lot of talk that Spike is looking to get out of the wrestling business as opposed to something else, like starting something. I just don't hear anything in that direction, but I guess it's still possible. As for Spike wanting incentives or something like that, who knows? Who knows about that or anything as a future deal? So, but then that says this. Basically, we have a situation where Spike TV must have misled a lot of people about their true intentions in order to get an Impact renewal or share of TNA for a bargain price. I know this business is built on lies of deception, but surely the more logical explanation is that Spike has been honest all along with the people they talk to, and that they're solid on TNA because ad rates and impacts are atrocious. They can get higher ratings on airing reruns of Cox, and TNA cutting back so much on talent spending that the top star will soon be Dixie Carter by default. Wouldn't it make more sense that Spike TV has extended TNA's TV content for an extra months to give TNA every opportunity to find a new get elsewhere, so they will be painting as the bad guys in this situation, rather than them buying time to further their takeover aspirations of a wrestling company that is bleeding a ton of money? Someone says this. I don't see it that way. Because honestly, personally, I don't watch Spike. I don't watch any other stuff. I don't even watch Bellator. But honestly, I have other places I go around this watch. At the end of the day, I'll go watch UFC over Bellator. I just can't really. I don't really care for Bellator, and quite honestly, I don't know if this is true or not. I don't know. Some say this might be. I honestly want this to happen. You know what I truly want is someone to, if they're going to pick up someone, or heck, which my idea, ladies and gentlemen, is for TNA to go to Netflix, which I have no idea. It has now 50 right now in the United States, Americans. You know how many subscribers they have? Do you know how many subscribers that Netflix got? over 50 million subscribers in the United States. I think they have like 34 or 50 million subscribers here. I am amazed that there's been no overtures from any other wrestling company to have their stuff on there. I mean, they had a good sports documentary on Netflix. I think it was something of a baseball team of some sort. I haven't watched it. I don't see CM Punk. It was reading about it a few weeks ago on his Twitter. I have no idea why no one. The WWE Network, which it's fledgling at best, because I'm honestly, I'll get to why that is. Why that's going to be about that. But I honestly, call me a complete lunatic, a complete crazy person. But I don't think the WWE Network is going to really last as long as it is. I don't think it's going to reach the heights as what most people think that they will. Because honestly, more people are not going to subscribe to the network. The only time they're going to really subscribe is at WrestleMania. And everywhere else, they're just going to be like, you know what, I'm not wasting 6 months or 10 months on this poop of what you call entertainment. That's what it is. I don't know what's going to happen here. Is it truly the end of TNA? Is it I want someone to clean house in TNA. It's not, efficient management. And, that's what I want. And that's what it is. I hope so. And by the way, don't read the comments here. They're terrible. I don't want to. If you want me to go, I'll do it. I will read the comments. Let's see. One comment. Let's see. One. Let's do one little comment about this thing on this blog thing. I know it's don't read the comments, but what the heck? Right here. They did it with. Let's see. They're willing to recognize failure and clean house accordingly. This is one of them says they did it with Bellator. They tossed out the Jordan Reby, I don't know, and the company replaced the company with Scott Coker. They're also willing to make offers you can't refuse. They acquire talent when they become available, which they did with Coker's UFC Non-Complete was up. Non-Complete was up. I can see them making an offer to certain talent when they're free and clear. Hell, he just has to be a former business associate of Mr. Coker, and there's some strong relationships in place. Expect to be one surgery TNA and Bellator. Oh God, this person's begging for Heyman. Oh jeez Louise. Heyman is fine in WWE at this point. He has a DVD about what his future and everything, and his past and manager. I don't know why the hell they would actually do that. I don't know. I don't think that's going to happen. He's cool where he's at, and he's not going to go. It's just pipe dreams, people. Pipe dreams. And they need to wake up. Anyway, speaking of Brock Lesnar and everything, it's time for me to take a little break here, and we'll be right back. And when we do come back, I'll be talking about SummerSlam and the after effects of Monday Night Raw, and after that, the show will be over. Okay, we'll be right back and see the show is moving on quickly and quietly. Here, live on the Duke CT Lounge. Thank you for joining me, Duke CT, live on TalkShoe.com. And also, you can hear the stuff on YouTube, Rise of the Clinic. YouTube, RiseOfTheCritics.com. Screw Attack, That Guy with the Glasses Forums. My Facebook page, Duke C Productions. Duke C Productions on my Facebook, Facebook.com/Duke Productions. And RVT Entertainment on community boards. Now that, since that website is back from repairs and everything. posting all that stuff there. And, yeah, all that good stuff. Anyway, we'll be right back right after this. This is the Dukect Lounge live on TalkShoe.com. Live. I'm here on Dukect Lounge. Phone number, if you want to call in live, is 724-444-7444. Once again, the number is 724-444-7444. And the call D to connect to me at Dukect is 92417. Call D, once again, is 92417. And if you just want to use if you have the TalkShoe Pro 2.0 app, you can use the Shoe Phone. Shoe phone, just connect the shoe phone. There you go. You're on live right here. And everything will be awesome. Everything is awesome. And all that good stuff, right? Anyway, we're here live on Dukect Lounge. And man, what a SummerSlam, ladies and gentlemen. SummerSlam was intense. What an intense, emotional match with this, with this pay-per-view. So let's take a rundown at it. I'm still busy waiting during my TNA anniversary review. Hopefully that will be up by next week. It'll be up, and everything will be just awesome. And I can do all that type of stuff and everything. All that good stuff. Anyway, let's talk about, the kickoff match. RVD beating Cesaro sucks. I don't care. Yeah, okay. Let's talk about the first match of the evening. You had the Miz taking on show-off Dolph Ziggler in a very okay match. It was short, and the Miz loses. Which before he lost, I love the fact he no-selled the Famous. I'm like, holy crap, he no-selled the Famous. I'm like, goodness, am I watching WWE or am I watching a Ring of Honor match? I mean, seriously. That was hilarious. But honestly, the match was just semi-okay, but it was too short. Ziggler wins, is like fifth in the Continental title. I don't care at this point. Both guys, I have to say it, deserve better. The Miz has become completely forgotten about. No one cares about The Miz. No one really, Ziggler people still care about, but no one really cares about Miz. It's a shame because he used to get response, positive and negative responses. It's sad that the WWE continues to hamper and be a hindrance instead of a help to superstars. It's sad. It's very sad. Well, if you want to get ratings, I give this match a 5 out of 10. You really care for it. Next up, we had the Divas title match, AJ Lee and Paige. I think Paige winning. Honestly, this was actually a very surprising match. I thought it would be good, but before when it started getting good, it ended very quickly. And I'm like, this could have been a very good match. Instead, this was very short and it was a very anticlimactic. I was like, it ended up really anticlimactically, and it just pissed me off. I really didn't like that. It pissed me off. Like, man, these two girls could go, and they said people they could go, but the last time they didn't have that much of a connection. The chemistry was off, and a lot of people were like, man, I wasn't feeling it. This time they hit with a faster pace and, hitting these big moves, which that was desperately needed, and it ended very quickly, and I really felt very disappointed with that. Otherwise, I thought this was actually a good showing for Paige as she regains her Divas Championship. I liked this match, I really did, but it was too short. It ended really too short. The Marina, I give it a 6 out of 10. I would have got this higher, but it just ended way too short. Next is the flag match between Rusev and the Real American Jack Swagger. It's funny that people didn't really give a damn about Swagger, and everyone was pushing Cesaro, and now Cesaro on pre-shows jobbing the old guys no one gives a damn about, and Rusev, and just taking on Jack Swagger. I'm like, yeah, what the hell's going on here? Anyway, this match, it started out before, I thought it was just going to be a regular flag match and someone has the pole to climb up and get the flag, which that was the flag match. I know what a flag match is, and that was the flag match. But instead, they didn't even explain. It was like it was a regular match. Instead, they had someone hang the flag high. Jeez, I was like, they made I don't know what they were doing. It's like they made the rules up as they go along with the WWE. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to say this for the entire pay-per-view, which knocks it down another 100 points or whatever, knocks it down the points is because of the commentary. The commentary on this pay-per-view hurt it so horribly. I can't, some points I can't even watch the show. I had to mute because it was so annoying. I couldn't even watch the show. I was like, on the network, I was like, I can't do it. It just, it annoyed me so much. But I couldn't watch it. It was just like, yeah. But anyway, matches was pretty good, actually. We just showed that he has some good stuff here. And Swagger did some good, it was a good big guy to hit too. And I honestly they really missed out on they did the right finish, but they did it on the wrong guy. I would have Rusev just pass out from the top because honestly, the undefeated streaks don't really pan out because once you have an undefeated streak, when they lose, they lose steam completely. And that's the problem, is that you need, honestly, at best, I think the best thing could have done, get that undefeated stuff off of him, get the undefeated bank off him and have him lose a couple lose or what have you, and it'd be easier, and they could have been moved on. I think it would have been better, because honestly, when you look at it in wrestling, I mean, the undefeated streak is more of a hindrance, because when you lose that undefeated streak, when you built it up, there's not much for these guys to do anymore. The undefeated streak becomes more of a ball and chain, more of a, it's a key lock or something. And, you can't have that. In fact, the Shield had that for a long time. When they lost, it didn't end anything. It got that burden off. Because honestly, the undefeated streak, you need to end that burden. It becomes a hindrance because you have to keep them winning, and then you have to do all these other stuff to protect them and then damage the other guy. It becomes too much of a hindrance and a problem and makes the matches seem more, instead of being really good matches, they become just, they become these, not cluster out, but just, very, just very unbelievable finishes. And you're just like, man, it just really takes you out of it. It just really just like, or what have you. But honestly, the match was okay. I really like it. Rusev beats the Real American on Jack Swagger, and Jack Swagger passes out, and, and have the Russian flag, posed against, and they have the Russian theme play, and, and they keep playing it and everything. And sadly, I honestly think Rusev is going to lose to John Cena on a random Raw. In fact, I would not be surprised if John Cena comes back in the next 2 or 3 weeks and he's a tryout match against before he takes up Brock Lesnar. He takes on Rusev. He breaks Rusev tap out and he says, "Yeah, that that means I'm ready, brother, or what have you. You know, I did the story about Hulk Hogan I need to get into. But anyway, honestly, I don't really. I thought it was a good match, though. I give this a 7 out of 10. Really good stuff, but I think the raw finish as Jack Swagger passed out during the accolade, I really didn't think that match. I didn't think that was needed. I think it should have been on Rusev passing out with the ankle lock. Would have been a lot, because again, it would have freedom burner the undefeated streak and have him move on after that. Then you had, after that, you had, let's see, I think it was the Bray Wyatt versus Chris Jericho. This match was just boring. Boring. We had a faster pace, but that was it. It was a bland and boring match. The only thing I popped was the Sister Abigail on the barricade. Other than that, this match was straight up boring. I didn't care for it. I did not like it at all. I give this match a 3 out of 10. This was a complete and utter failure of a match. And the only thing positive about it was Bray Wyatt winning. And honestly, hopefully this brings it back to a real positive track. Okay. Next up, you had the Lumberjack match, which I'm going to say this, between Mr. Money in the Bank Seth Rollins taking on the Lunatic Friends, Dean Ambrose. And I'm going to say this. Wow, what a hell of a match. I mean, wow. I didn't think they could. I always meant this to be the dumbest match, but they somehow did it. They made one of the most arbitrary, blandest stipulations. These two guys, and again, honestly, in the next night, they made another great match. These two guys, oh my goodness, man, these two are just great together. And then Dean Ambrose just going crazy, knocking people out. I mean, everybody from the Lumberjacks just completely failing at their jobs. I was laughing. I'm like, the Lumberjacks, you have one job. Keep these two assholes in the ring, and you couldn't do that. You fail. You guys suck at your job. And then after all this other stuff was going on, the crazy stuff, and then you had the buzzkill Kane, which I'm like, yeah, God, Kane. Why can't he just retire? I'm sorry. Why can't he just leave? I'm tired of Kane. I'm tired of him. I'm done with him. I don't care for corporate Kane, demon Kane, regular Kane, fried crispy Kane, regular size Kane, Kane with a coal mine glove. I don't care. I don't want Kane anymore. He should be gone. I don't want Kane to be here. I'm done with him. He was the only real negative in that match. I really enjoyed it, though. Seth Rollins took the win. And, man, this was a great match. And Dean Ambrose looked awesome as well. So, kudos to both. I give this match a 9 out of 10. And this was my match of the night. This was amazing. That point off was just for Kane. Yes, Kane being in the vicinity of anything just drags anything down. Next after that, you have the Divas Showdown. That's Stephanie McMahon takes on Reba. And honestly, I'm going to say this. Stephanie outworked, outclassed, and outshowed Reba. And here's the real thing. Stephanie hasn't worked. I don't know, the last match was in 2003, and that was with No Mercy versus her dad. Oh, and here's the kicker about that match, which was completely hilarious. It took place in Baltimore, Maryland. Maryland said, hey, you know what the thing about Baltimore is interesting? It had these laws. Very interesting law. There was actually a law in place during this time, and I don't think it's still here or if it is, I don't know. I need to look this up. But there is a law. It was active during the time that you cannot legally have a man and woman fight each other. And guess what they did? They still went through that match, and oh, wow. Oh, wow, that was, you know how uncomfortable, how horrible. That was match was so bad, so horrible. I just didn't, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, but honestly, Steph was great in this match. She was really good, and she had some really good stuff. Bree, she's been working for some. She's gotten better, a bit better, but in fact, this entire storyline, you know, before it went off the rails, she did have some type of thing. Her at some little points, Bree had some decent mic skills, but when the live stuff is Stephanie, wow, Steph blew her out of the water. And then during the match, you had the swerve. You had, oh gosh, I honestly watching this match, I actually thought, I was like, oh, when this whole thing was unfolding, I actually thought Vince Russo broke this storyline because you had one of the most, not only you had the Claire Lynch stuff, but you had the physical therapist having sex with Daniel O'Brien, having an affair with Brie Bella. Then you had Nikki, for whatever reason, coming to defend Brie Bella, and then for no reason whatsoever, which I still have no real reason, help Stephanie by knocking out Brie Bella and helping her beat her sister. And the reason why she did this, the reason is because she was jealous of Brie. Yes, jealous, even though there was no inkling of this, no foreshadowing. Let's just pull something right out of your rear end and align with the person, align with the people who are screwing you over and over again, putting you in these horrendous matches and these handicap matches. You're gonna ally with them instead with their sister because jealousy. Oh God! You know, at this point, it's just like, and the acting. Oh, the mic work. Oh, that just beautiful. I mean, I'm not asking for the next. I'm not asking for much. I'm not asking. I'm not asking for the divas to be great actresses or something like that. I just want them to at least be somewhat compelling. Nikki is a bit better than Brie, but honestly, it's this point. It's better. Well, exactly. She's 100 times better, but 100 times 0 is still 0. It just both of these women, Brie and Nikki, they are not good. They're barely passable. I never liked them as heels because they're so bland and boring. A fake ass way cool. Honestly, even if Angela Love and how just boring she is more interesting than the beautiful people, 2K14, even how dry and boring they are still more interesting than these two chuckleheads over there. The Bella twins, the most blandest divas I've ever seen. I'm sorry, they're just completely, utterly bland, and oh gosh, she's just like, oh, I don't know it. Why? And honestly, I give the match rating. I give the match a 6 out of 10. It's gonna be at least a 7, but honestly, the whole thing just was ruined by Nikki Bella and the swerve. I was really took it back. No, screw it. It's a 5 out of 10. It just 2 points for that stupid swerve and a stupid explanation afterwards. Just a failed version of matches there. Next, we have the greatest match between Viper Randy Orton and Roman Reigns. You know, if you have a DVR or anything else, fast forward a bit on this match because a lot of things you need to fast forward because quite honestly, this was probably one of the most boring matches I've seen the entire night. It made the impossible, making Bray Wyatt and Chris Jericho even more. It made that Bray Wyatt and Chris Jericho made it look like Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania 21. Yeah, it was that boring. Both guys honestly have no chemistry with each other, Randy Orton and Roman Reigns. The crowd was not really interested into it. And honestly, these two guys' styles don't clash at all. They don't clash. And then this is really the whole thing of my end of the WWE creative. The WWE creative, why not make this match a shorter match? Instead of making this a 15, 16, or 17, 18-minute match, make it 11 or 10 minutes. Keep this a short match. And why? I mean, and continue to hide the weaknesses of Roman Reigns and Randy Orton, and do something more faster pace and such. Have Roman Reigns start with a house of fire, and Randy Orton has to continue to counter that stuff. He's trying to slow it down, but Roman Reigns keeps coming and everything else. In fact, the only cool thing that happened was the above air RKO and the Superman punch and spear. That was really it. I honestly think that they needed to go to that first. They needed to get that first year earlier and done. If they would have done that and then have a place so much slow down, then the match would have been more well received. Instead, it just slowed down way too much, and if this continues, I honestly think the push that Roman Reigns is going to get, it's going to be lackluster. Overall, though, I did really, at the end of the day, I didn't really care for this match. I give this match a 5 out of 10. The only thing that really saved it was Roman Reigns' last couple minutes, and I want Roman Reigns to root for Roman Reigns to do well. At the end of the day, I just don't think he's going to be more interesting than Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. He's going to be, honestly, if this keeps up, I would not be surprised if he's going to be the Janelli of that group, and I don't want that. But honestly, Reigns does win the match, though. And then we get to the main event, the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. As the defender of the seedings, John Cena takes on the Beast, who took down the streak, Brock Lesnar. This match was a sweet squash match with 16 suplex. You know what? I think, honestly, Paul Heyman said it best on Monday Night Raw afterwards. He said, eat, sleep, suplex, 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 conquer, repeat. That was basically the match. And Cena got some flurry of offense. He did the AA. He had the SPF on there, which honestly at that first moment I was going to laugh if he made Brock tap out. I would have laughed my ass off. But at the end of the day, Brock was just toying with the guy and just beat his ass down. That was a squash match, an end-all squash matches. I was really concerned that WWE wasn't going to do this, but they did it. And overall, I give this was actually a very interesting matchup. This is basically a squash, so I don't know what to rate this. So if you're a fan of Brock Lesnar, you really enjoy it. If you're a fan of Cena, you won't. So, but as a fan who likes this stuff, and if it's a continuing story, I give this match probably like a 7 out of 10. I think this could have been a lot better. I mean, I wish it was a lot more competitive. And I honestly wonder what the role would have been if Daniel Bryan would have not got hurt. They would have done this. And by the way, I want Bryan and Lesnar soon. Hopefully that does happen. That'd be awesome. Speaking of Lesnar, a week ago you had the Crash Hulk Hogan's birthday party, and he made an outlet. He said, "Party's over, Grandpa," and this was actually an outlet. Heyman told him to say and everything else. But guess what? Hogan didn't like that, and supposedly on TMZ, oh sweet Christmas, I'm not kidding you. He wants to fight Brock Lesnar. Hulk Hogan wants to fight with Brock Lesnar. Oh, good Lord. Oh, good Lord. Why? And Hogan, oh my goodness, I don't get this. I'm sorry, but if Hogan even, I'm not even making this up. Here's the link in the description. I will put this right here. He says this, and I quote, Hogan told TMZ, all I got to say is, Brock, I haven't done anything to get in your way, but if you keep throwing my name around, I'm gonna get in your way. Does he not remember what happened the last time? What happened the last time Brock Lesnar came? Oh yeah, Hogan got his ass kicked. Got his ass whooped, and his blood, Hogan made his blood spray on Brock's chest. You think about what happened right now? Dude will hit him so hard he just poof, turned to dust. Boy, can't he do? Brock will kill him. Really, he will kill Hogan. With one clothesline, he would kill him. Man, just, oh, God. Just, why? Really? Unless he has finally gone completely insane. He has gone completely insane. Because he has to, there is no chance in hell. There is absolutely no chance in hell that Brock Lesnar would lose to Hulk Hogan. There's no actual chance. It's not actual possible. Hell, I honestly would say 30 years ago, Hogan in his prime wouldn't beat Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar would bench slap, man. Hulk Hogan would have went back in time and faced. If Brock Lesnar went back in time and fought Hogan back 30 years ago, he would still bitch out Hulk Hogan. That's how tough Lesnar is. Dude is just oh my gosh, you know? Oh my gosh, you know? It would be a massacre. A complete and utter massacre. I swear, man, I don't know what the hell's wrong with Hogan these days, man. Anyway, that is it for the show, ladies and gentlemen. And on the positive note, and, well, it's less than an hour this time, so we're making progress. We're making progress. We're cutting it down, and maybe next time we'll get it down to 30 minutes, and we'll go down from there. Anyway, it's Duke CP here. Peace, love. I will see y'all when I see y'all later.